In this video, I'm not going to show you how to do paint touch-up. I'm going to show you how to prep the chip. And the number one thing is rust or grease or dirt in the chips. So I've got this test trunk that I have at the shop here with several spots of rust on it. And so I'm going to show you how to properly do this. You can imagine if you took your paint touch-up pen like this and you just touched it up on that chip, how good a repair do you think that would be? Not very good, right? So we got to get rid of that rust out of there first. Now, to do that, we're going to sand it out first, which we're going to use one of these two tools. I'll put links to these. And then we're going to use a rust dissolver gel. Okay, so let's start with the sanding pens. That's what these are. So if you've ever seen one of these paint touch-up bottles and wondered what that tip is right there, that is a sanding pen. Those are little fiberglass pieces that sand out the rust. And let me show you. So hold it there just like a pencil and just start scraping. That. The little shards will break off, and that's fine. I wear gloves only because I don't want these little things like getting in my skin. It's not a big deal, but okay. Let me wipe that off right quick. Yeah, see how good that did? That got rid of a lot of that rust, and you can get around the edges, and then you'll be able to use your rust dissolver gel. Okay. Now, if your paint touch-up bottle doesn't have those, they sell these sanding pens. It's exactly what they're for. It's the exact same thing. See that as you turn it, you can make this longer or shorter as you need. And it's the same thing. We'll do the other part of this chip right here. And this just helps the rust dissolver gel do a much better job. You know, you're getting rid of the big stuff. And these pens, the beauty of these things, especially this one, you know, I love this kind so much because it lasts a long time. It's easy to control. You know, it's just like a pencil. You can get in here in the edges. And then it also helps you to not go out onto the paint. If you go onto the paint, it will scuff it. I'll just do it since I don't care about this hood. So you can see what happens. So see, it does scuff it. But because you've got so much control here, you can get in the edges and get off that rust. Okay. So these are like your number one tools. Love them. Now you can use your rust dissolver gel. Actually, let me wipe this off and then show you. See, I got a lot of it off. I could get up there in the corners and get a little better, but let's leave some of that on to see how this rust dissolver gel works. Okay. So I've used several brands. I like the Loctite by far the best. Take your little brushes, your little paint touch-up brushes like this, and then don't dip it in here, clean your spot, and then dip it back in because that contaminates it with rust in there. You know, use one of these little cups. Let's see if I can do this without spilling it all over. And it is just a gel. And that little bit right there will be plenty. Okay. We'll get in here, get it on there like that. Now this stuff will not hurt the paint if, you know, as long as you don't leave it on for a half hour. Just dab it around in there to make contact. And then wait 10 minutes. Let it go 10 minutes. I'll even put some out here on the paint just to show you. Okay. See how I've got that on there? and let it dissolve 10 minutes. So set a timer. I'll be right back. Okay, it's been 10 minutes. Our rust dissolver gel is allowed to dwell on there. So now we're going to wipe it off using our microfiber towel. Optimum Paint Prep is the best thing to use for this, because it's going to cut any waxes or grease or anything like that off of there. We'll come in here. Then I'll dry it. See how it looks. Oh yeah. Yeah, look at that. It got into the edges, you know, that I couldn't quite get in with my sanding pen up in there. Yeah. Yeah, this looks really good. Love that stuff. Okay, so now this is prepped for painting. I'll do another one, like step by step so you can see it. But the steps are: sand it out first with either the pen that comes with your brush or a sanding pen. Then use your dissolver gel. I like Loctite a lot better. I've tested Rust-Oleum and Permatex in the past. This is the one you want without a doubt. And then use your little brush to get in there with it, and then wipe it off. And you can see where I put that extra dissolver gel. Didn't do anything to the paint. I wouldn't leave it on long term because it's not meant to, but if you happen to get a little bit off, it's fine. And then remember, that's the damage from the sanding pen. So you do want to be careful with the sanding pen on getting to your edges. Okay, I'm going to do another one with the camera on the tripod, just so you can see step by step a little clearer without a shaky camera. See that spot right there? It's a pretty nasty chip, you know. I mean, it's not just a rock chip. That's a serious gouge with the paint flaking up, but that's a perfect example. So we're starting with the sanding pen. Get this loose rust off of here. And in this case, I'm going to go ahead and chip off that paint. You know, you don't want to leave loose paint on there, because your touch-up paint's just going to get up under it and peel it anyway. So you might as well chip it back to good paint. And then remember, this step is just to get the loose rust off. You're not going to get all of it. And that's what our rust dissolver gel is for. Okay. So that loose stuff is off of there. I got my Loctite gel on my little brush here. I'm just going to go around like that. Dab it on. A little bit overlap onto new paint's not a big deal. And let it set for 10 minutes. Okay, it's been almost 10 minutes, so I'm gonna spray my cleaner on here. Look at that. That always does such a good job. See, that is ready to be touched up. Now, of course, that's a nasty chip, you know, with all kinds of stuff going on up here, but you get the idea. And this, I'm not sure if it's shown on the camera, that black ring right there, that's not rust. That's the edge of the paint and the primer beneath that. That is ready to go. Okay, so in summary, all you need: sanding pen to get the loose rust out, Loctite navel jelly rust remover with a little brush of some kind. I mean, you don't have to buy a whole pack, but these are really handy to touch up paint, you know, these little guys, because you have so much more control over that than you do, you know, these traditional big brushes. I just happen to have these cups. Of course, you wouldn't have to buy that, but don't contaminate it by dipping your brush back in here with dirty. And then Optimum's Paint Prep and a microfiber towel to clean it all off. Once you've used that paint prep, that is ready to touch up. Okay? Thanks for watching.